The views and opinions expressed on this show belong solely to the hosts and their guests and do not reflect the views of any on-site institutions unless explicitly stated.
What's up, everybody? My name is Steve Vanderwall.
And I'm Justin Klosser.
And we're your hosts of Cannabis Cum Laude, a podcast devoted entirely to cannabis. We're going to talk cultivation, business, medicine, politics, culture, advocacy, and everything in between.
The cannabis industry is complicated. It's robust. It has a lot of moving parts. And it's our job to help you understand it just a little bit better. So tune in every week for a brand new episode. And if you have a question that you'd like answered on the show, send it on over to questions@cannabiscumlaude.com. Thanks. Enjoy the show.
Okay. Welcome back to part 2 of this week's episode of Cannabis Cum Laude. We're here with our good buddy, the hydro guy, Rob Bonfiglio, and we're talking about breeding and genetics. Great conversation first time around. I know that I learned a ton. I'm honestly, every time I talk to you guys, I feel super fucking ignorant. I think, oh, I know a lot, and I don't. But that's why I like hanging out with you guys, because you're wicked smart.
Wicked smart. Dude, you're always learning in this game.
It really is. You think you know something, and then you realize there's just so much to know. And everybody who I've talked to, you know, you guys who are super experienced and like commercial breeders, they say, or growers, they say the same thing. You think you know a lot until you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
same with breeding. I'm just, you know, like, I know enough to get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
But to really be called a breeder, you know, you got to take that seriously.
No doubt.
So what I want to do here is kind of dive right into the lingo, right, that we all see on these seed packs when we're looking for seeds, what that breeders use, and what does it really mean? Like, what is an F1? What is an R1? What is an S1? What's a BX? Like, what do these different terms mean?
There's actually even some of them that I'm still learning myself because it is kind of a confusing thing to get into.
Yep.
The BX is back cross.
Yep.
The F1, I'm pretty sure, is female pollen.
Filial.
Filial?
Filial, yep.
Okay, see? Or the S1 is selfed. You selfed it. Okay.
Okay, so let me pick up for you real quick.
I was going to say,
I came in ready and I kind of hit him blindsided with that.
Me.
I apologize. So F1 is filial generation. This is when you make this is a hybrid, F1 hybrid, right? You have two completely separate genetics come together and they make babies. That's the F1.
Okay.
When you take brother and sister and make them date, the next generation is F2. Brother and sister, F3. And then that's how they go into stabilizing. And then R1 is reverse. So that's when you're doing your feminizing.
Yep.
But that's to something else, right?
Okay.
Yeah, to something else. S1 is a reverse, but back to itself to make its own seeds.
Right.
Yeah. Second guessing myself. I got to learn to stop doing that. And then back cross, like you said, would be having two parents. They make babies. You take the baby and cross it back to one of the parents because you're trying to get more of that trait
specifically
into that cross. Anyway, so when we're doing this stuff, the R1, the S1, sometimes probably even a back cross in there with the feminizing. We touched on this a little bit in a little TED Talk that I'm going to be releasing a little bit later here, probably in a week or so. So look for that. But what is going on there? Like how do you make that happen? How do you do feminizing? How do they come about? Why are they there?
So as far as like the ways to do it?
Yeah, or like what's going on? Like what is the process? You don't have to get like super specific with like breeder secrets and stuff like that. But like
no. No, that's fine. There's no secrets, you know what I mean? We're open books here.
Yeah.
As far as what I've seen, colloidal silver works, but not bulletproof.
Okay.
Colloidal silver nitrate works better, still not bulletproof. There's a company that I'll give you the link to drop in this at the end. It's a one-time spray. I haven't found like what they put in this stuff. It's like a miracle juice, but it's a one-time spray right before you go into bloom, and you force your females into flower.
So do you think they just found a better carrier than the nitrate?
Probably.
And it's just
or they found a better blend.
Silver in there.
They found a better blend or
mix.
Who knows? You know what I mean?
That's crazy. And have you seen like?
I've seen guaranteed results with it.
100%?
100% so far. Anybody, so I have
One-time spray.
one-time spray. So
How much of a price tag does that come with?
it's expensive for me to order it. Like so expensive that I'm like, all right, guys, here's the website you can order it from. Because dude, even the small bottles, they cost a lot, but it works.
And it lasts if you're only using it for one spray.
So now, like I've heard, yeah, and when it comes to like storing your pollen, if you don't use it right away, I've heard you can get it to last up to a year and a half. Have you heard anything different? Like,
I'm not well versed enough, honestly.
okay, well, I mean, most people will put it in the fridge, but if you're gonna keep it long term, put it in the freezer.
Really?
That's to get feminized pollen. Those sprays like that exist. I've heard of more old school growers. They stress their plants
so you're
out.
putting the spray in the freezer or the pollen in the freezer?
The pollen in the freezer.
Really?
Yes, pollen in the freezer
doesn't,
for
like-
long-term storage.
Burst the cells or anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I mean, at least for long-term storage. I don't know if they like wrap something specific around it.
Yeah, maybe put it in a special container or something.
I
Yeah,
get too
don't know.
excited. I use it fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
It's in the fridge just for like a couple weeks and then it's like gone.
yeah, keep it clone. You know what I mean? Make it again.
So something that I've never done that I actually just learned this week, not just learned this week, but actually have heard of somebody doing it. They take like their clippings, their clones, and if they don't use them right away, they throw them in the fridge for like a month, and then they get back to them and then they root them. And I'm like, I wonder if that degrades.
A month. Interesting.
A month. This guy was like, yeah, I didn't get to it for about a month, rooted in 10, 12 days, and I was like,
That's crazy.
I wonder if that degrades the plant at all. Or does it make it dormant? I don't know.
I mean, I would assume that if there's any kind of microbes or anything in there, that it might let it accumulate more viruses or pathogens or stuff that even maybe are like not gonna express themselves or whatever. You know what I mean?
I thought that was super interesting. So yeah, that's how to get feminized pollen. You know what I mean? To make yourself female seeds, you would take that feminized pollen and hit a female plant with it. And Justin touched on all the different BX, S1, F2, F3. You can do all sorts of different stuff with the pollen, however crazy you want to get. If you want to make regular seeds, you would get a regular pack or find a male that you've sourced or one that you think looks great or has good branching or good characteristics that you choose. And you want to touch on that?
I want to let you finish your sentence.
Okay, I was going to say, and then you could take your male in with your female. You could do it naturally. You could take the pollen from the male, collect it, and then hit your selected females. I mean, you could selective breed and take one characteristic and cross it with another. You could do all sorts of different crazy things.
Okay, so male selection, right? What are you looking for? How are you pheno hunting your males?
I like structure.
Okay.
I go for structure and vigor. You know what I mean? The foliage.
Do you want that one that's like first out the gate?
No.
Or okay.
No.
Okay.
That doesn't matter to me. I like the response. I'm gonna top it. I'm gonna prune. I'm gonna see what it likes and what it doesn't like. I'm gonna see if this one, has a bunch of shoots. I pinch. You know what I mean? I base it off. I like shorter, stockier kind of like with beefier kind of plants, and I go based off that. Now, I'm still a novice when it comes to breeding. I just want to put this out there. I'm still playing around and learning as we go, too.
Yeah, but you have delved yourself into the game and you've like really well read on this situation at this point.
Yeah,
And
I try. Like I said, I know enough to get myself in trouble.
exactly. I mean, typically that's all you need until you get in trouble, right?
And then next thing you know, you stumble into one great strain that makes you a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Well, and you got to do it to learn it, right?
Oh,
At the end
absolutely.
of the day, you got to really play with it to learn it. So since we are kind of tight on time here, I do want to get to like pheno hunting in general. When you are just made a cross and you're trying to like figure out what it looks like, what do you think is the lowest number that you should go with before you decide that, or maybe not even pheno hunting, but testing, like, I don't know, do you get what I'm saying? Like when you're like, okay, I like this. I want to keep working with this.
So, I mean, for like a novice breeder and grower,
yeah,
kinda
or
deal,
even like,
I wouldn't do more than 10.
Okay.
10 plants. You know what I mean? If you're going to hunt something, do 10 at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself because, as we know, life goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this takes time and it takes dedication. And you got to sit there with your notebook and you got to see what you like and what you don't like. And 1 does this, 2 doesn't do this, 3 does this, and go on and, so on and so forth. If you've got 20, 30 different plants to pheno hunt, Yeah, unless it's like, part-time, full-time job for you, that's a lot.
Yeah.
At least somebody with me who has kids and you have kids, you know what I mean? And you got a step-kid. It's like,
Yeah.
where do you find all the time in the day to, you know what I mean?
And they could all have different needs and like different feeding schedules and wants. And
I've always done them in batches of 10. That's just a humble kind of thing, opinion there. But it's been a lot easier to manage that way and document even smaller batches, I guess.
So one thing that I see a lot, right, and I understand being kind of a conservative person with my money myself. A lot of people are trying to look for the cheapest seeds, right?
Yeah.
They want cheap seeds. Oh, these seeds are so expensive. They're just seeds. But like, can you help people understand why these things actually come with a cost? Because there is a really good reason. You got to think about, you're buying a lot more than just a seed here.
I'll be blunt, honestly. You're going to waste more money going down the cheap route. And there's a reasonable way to do it the right way that doesn't completely break the bank either. But when you try and cheap out when it comes to genetics or seeds or equipment, you're going to end up spending more money anyways. Once you get far enough into it to realize, oh boy,
I want something better.
I need something better. You know what I mean? It's not even you're going to need something a little better. And that's not in every case, but in most.
And price tag's not everything. There are some breeders out there, and I always like to plug him, Rasta Jeff, because he really kind of gave me my foundation into cannabis, right? When I was first finding it, he was the person who guided me through that, through his podcast, right? And his Irie genetics are often priced a lot lower than some of these top shelf.
They're reasonable
breeders, but his genetics bang. His male that he uses, King Solomon, the Arise strain, is constantly putting out numbers over 30% THC. And I don't know. I want to get the word out there, right? Because his genetics are fire.
Yeah, just because you find a pack for $40 doesn't mean it's going to be a dud. And just because you find a pack for $250, $300 doesn't mean it's going to be an A1 winner. You know what I mean? That Sin Mint cut from, Sin City Seed Bank, it was like $120 when it got released for 6-7 seeds. And now, if you have the breeder cut of that, a good pheno, you can get
a lot of money for it.
You got some pull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got some pull. And that's just one random one because I know somebody near and dear with one,
Absolutely.
I deal with that, I deal with that a lot in my business where people are like, well, why would I pay $90 for this bottle or $125 for this product when I could pay $90? Well, it's the same thing that you can go to Walmart and buy a watch or get a Rolex. Correct. Or buy a Corolla or buy a Lambo or buy a 30-pack of Bud Light for $13 or a 6-pack of premium craft beer for $25.
Correct.
Quality brings price,
Correct.
Especially in craft cannabis. Time is money, and you spend a lot of time, high quality newts, all breeding, staff, all that. You're going to get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Just like in any other market. And we see it a lot. We got the cheapest shit. Okay, then have a cheap experience. Yeah. Or, spend your time, picking males and dicking around and spending money.
A dude spent $50,000 last year on one clone. And
that's crazy.
Turned around and made like 3.5 million on seeds, breeding with it. So, it's like, if you know what you can do with it,
and it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that just derailed me. I'm sorry.
I know, right? You got to
like,
think about it. You know what I mean? That's why I just invested some dough in some, certified, verified breeder cuts. Something that, you're not just like buying some mystery thing out of the air. Like, oh, it might do this or it might do this. Or my uncle's cousin said that this was pineapple chunk. And it's like, totally not. Yeah. You pay for something that you can verify. You can go to other growers that have a higher platform, that have, a really solid foundation. And, they're not bullshitting the game, because in this game, it gets around fast. Yeah. So you spend the money to get, those genetics.
But it's an asset, especially if you're selling cuts and you're selling,
Yeah, you hold them in the vault, man. You hold those in your arsenal.
Yeah, and so it's like these breeders take a lot of time, right? This crop takes a long time to finish. Then you have to test it. If they're doing it properly, they're testing it. They're sending it out to testers. They're getting feedback from those testers. They're doing multiple runs. They're making sure that these things are good for you to get out. This is a lot of work. Like, you're paying for their time and effort. You're not paying for the little seed. Yeah. And that's kind of the point that I wanted to make. We are kind of coming tight and getting tight. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to give you kind of the stage right now to plug what you got going on.
Yep.
You made a big move, Rock City Genetics and the Rock City Cannabis Cup.
Yeah.
If you want to kind of go in that order, what's going on in your life?
Yeah. So we moved the store, expanded, started Rock City Genetics. We're building that from the ground up now. The carnival kind of took that over, right? So I'm gonna have to like mend them before opening day of the carnival.
Yeah, what's a carnival all about?
So the carnival, it's more the Rock City Cannabis Carnival is going to be probably not Rochester's very first cannabis event, but the biggest one brought to light. Over 60 vendors, you know what I mean? Gold sponsors, Cannabis Cum Laude, top sponsor, you know what I mean? It's going to be popping, dude.
there's going to be food trucks, music.
There's going to be, you name
things.
it's going to be there. Private event, invite only technically, right? So you kind of have to know one of the vendors, one of the sponsors, somebody who's one of the 60 vendors will have tickets. They're distributed. Each ticket is good for 4 to 5 people, right? So treat those tickets as 4 to 5 tickets.
A carload.
A carload.
Bring that with it too, please. Come on.
$10 donation at the door to get in. And you're going to have one hell of a time.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know, because we have a gold sponsor, we do have a handful of tickets.
Yes.
If you are interested in going, shoot us a message, DM us, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever platform, let us know, and we'll get you on. We can either meet up somewhere in the city, put it in the mail, but we have a handful.
Yeah, we could even work something out to get you guys like a VIP high pass to do a giveaway.
Ooh, that'd be sick.
You got to be careful with it because Instagram hates everything that we do nowadays. So, there's VIP passes, the high pass. September 5th, 2 to 7. Location won't be dropped until day before. Vendors and sponsors will know, but there's a QR code on the ticket. Scan that day before. You'll get the
That's
location.
gangster as hell.
Yeah.
Are you? We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline.
Thanks for
That's
tuning
awesome.
in, everybody. This has been an awesome show. Rob, thank you so much for joining
No
us
problem.
again. I wish that we had more time, dude. I wish that I could talk to you for hours every time we run
No
into
problem,
each other.
man.
Anything else?
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
always hooking up at the store. Thanks for being, my grow mentor, both of you, quite frankly, always hooking up the best products. You put my freaking Floraflex, my tub together for me. You hooked me up with a great, I appreciate you guys. You're doing some big shit. And we can't wait for the festival. It's going to be banging.
It's going to be banging.
Absolutely. Everybody get all of your products from #Hydro over on West Ridge Road.
Nobody else.
No. And with that, elevate your state of mind, and we'll see you later.
Turning off. See ya.
Thanks to our friends here at Rockbox Recording and Production in Rochester, New York. They are a full professional podcast and video studio designed by a radio guy for podcasters. Audio, video, voiceovers, editing, whatever. Mouth off at Rockbox at rockbox.com.
You can follow Cannabis Cum Laude on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Cannabis. Type Cannabis Cum Laude into your search bar and you should be able to find us, but the links will also be posted in the episode notes as well. If you want to help support the show, head on over to Patreon, and that will ensure that we're able to keep the best quality sound and video coming to you on a regular basis. And if you liked what you heard today, please don't forget to rate and review the show.